Well, as the former girlfriend of the football boss, the tabloids dubbed Nancy Dell'Olio Queen of the Wags. However, following Sven's revelations about their 9-year relationship, shaking her head there, yes. Nancy's here this morning to have her say. Were you surprised that he wrote this down?
Good morning.
Were you surprised that he wrote it down?
Yes, definitely surprised, because it's not usually what Sven's style is. I'm not surprised completely was decide to write a book. I know he's going through some financial troubles, but I was expecting something with more style and more elegance.
Have you read it?
No, there's no time for this, but I will. Probably I will. Of course, there's somebody else read it for me, so they read it for me and they will tell me about it. I will.
And have they told you what he said?
Something, yes. They told me something, I said, but I think nobody's been read it yet. It's just what the paper's being serialized. So I will see if it is the case. But I just started a legal action, so.
You started legal action against him?
Against the publishers,
well, in which case that's a nightmare, because that means that I don't know how much we can talk about now. I didn't even realise that.
Well, I mean, the things that the part of legal action is that Sven, with his book, is in breach of confidential agreement.
Yeah.
And we had an order signed in a court that we could not talk about some details that he did. Okay. I'm very surprised that the publisher didn't check this before.
Okay.
So it's in breach of confidential.
We've got to be careful. Obviously,
no, but this is because it's in my interview. It's an interview in a law today. So this absolutely you can say.
Well, that's very different. Yeah. That's very different to where we were going to talk about.
No, we've been checking.
The book.
I have to say there's a breach of confidential, and of course there are few offences already been taken out from the Mail website because there were some lies there.
Okay.
And
let's get on slightly firmer ground then in that case, although as firm as this happens to be. He said she always had to be the centre of attention. When we went out to restaurants, Nancy would complain about anything and everything, the service, the champagne, the lighting. She demanded constant attention. I got more and more irritated with her. Is that true?
I will need to say, is it quite true or false?
Does it sound like you?
It could be sometimes like me, of course. And he knew this much longer. He met me exactly when I was with my husband. It was not a surprise. Now, making me smile because, of course, everything would be exaggerated. But a whole woman like me, of course, I'm demanding. And, of course, when the light is not right, I say it. Or the champagne is not cold enough. I complain the champagne is not cold enough. But this surprised, but anybody surprised by this?
It makes you sound rather difficult.
Listen, I always think when I say to somebody difficult, mean complex, and I take it like a compliment. You're expecting me not to be difficult? Of course I am.
He says, I mean, he goes on to say things like you wouldn't have been interested in him if he was a plumber, for example.
I love this. I heard about it. I have a wonderful friend that is a very attractive plumber. Actually, he's a playwright. And I don't think this is quite... It's funny. I mean, why? Because probably never happened I've been fall in love with a plumber, but could be. And he was much less than he was my position. There was my husband, so he was just a football manager.
But what I don't understand is that he stayed with you for a very long time. So if he had all of these issues with you, why did he just not leave?
Exactly. Why didn't you ask him? I mean, that's the things that make me... it's been a little bit sad because... and smile at the same time. Sad because I'm very surprised. Doesn't sound like him. And why you have to say something that evidently is lied. But it's because without sort of tone, probably they will never publish his book. And of course, well, he was not forced to stay. And then we've been almost 10 years. And every time I've been asking him to go, he always been back.
Well, you've written a book as well.
Yes.
He says, Nancy decided to write a book after assuring me that I wouldn't feature in it, but of course I did. I didn't read it. Apparently, she described our relationship as blissful throughout. Laughable, he says. So you're saying that the relationship was blissful, and he says it was laughable.
Part of where was he? But of course, I'm proud to say evidently I was in love. He was not in love. It's very strange to find somebody to be 10 years together and not to be in love. Sometimes love and hate are the same face of the two faces of the same metal. But I'm very, very surprised. So I rather prefer to say that absolutely there were beautiful moments, like where absolutely terrible moments. I definitely was in love with him. I do think he was in love with me. And I will stay positive. And actually, the other thing is, he didn't want me to write the book. And that moment I said, you can't say, you have no right to tell me to write the book, but the book is beautiful, and I'm going to talk absolutely with nothing will you be upset or offend you in any way. And he said, no, I will not accept it. I said, well, this is, if you don't accept it, you can go. And now in 2008, we separate, because he didn't want me to write the book. Yes.
So the reason you separated was because of the...
Yes, because he did accept it. But, I mean, well, he's one of them, he's written so well, so elegant. And of course he has to be part of it. It's part of my life for 10 years. Of course it has to be in a book.
But when anyone writes a book, it does seem that things become ugly. And you had, you know, the tabloids over the weekend, the last few weekends, Ulrika's claim that Sex with Sven was as ordered and functional as an IKEA instruction.
Making me laugh, but this is so claim.
As functional as an IKEA instruction manual. I mean, what do you think?
No comment on this. I mean, this has been her experience. I will not comment. But I'm not surprised. I mean, the fact that is, he was not interested probably in anything.
Interested in her, or interested in
not
sex?
only in her. All this, so there'll be few. I think, I don't know how many he mentioned. So he was quite busy on that side. So, but I'm not surprised. Consequently, when one man acting like that, and especially the worst thing is been talking about this, I found completely. What a man will go out and write about all the affairs that he had. I don't care about before me, but when we were together. So clearly was something not well with himself. And every time was something to prove against me, because someone wants to go out there trying to enjoy, but probably was not even enjoying that. But anyway, that was that experience.
So Ulrika said the sex was like IKEA furniture. You're saying that it was slightly more complex furniture than that.
Well, and I'd say this, to put in my words what I'd say, this is her experience, and it is, but it's nothing compared with me. I was in a relationship. She's one of the many.
Do you think that... Did you wish that he'd written a book just about football?
Well, what are you expecting from a football manager to write about football? But you see, the point is, nobody will even to publish a book about if we wrote only about football, because people, the truth is, they are not interested in Sven football. That is the point. One has been one of the greatest managers, where he had a fantastic career, and I think it's very good for England as well. Even this is, of course, an open conversation. Why you have to be forced to write a horrible book like this? I mean, to go out and what is he's been proud to tell about how many affairs he had, and now without no one give consideration about him, about his football, and he was one of the highest manager in the world.
Does it feel like he's not the man that you knew when you see the book and hear what he's written?
Absolutely, I don't recognize him completely. I do know people we change. Hopefully, we try to change for better, and in desperate stage you can do desperate things, but definitely doesn't sound the person that I met. No.
Will you speak to him?
No, we don't speak each other in a couple of years. We met briefly at the beginning of the year with lawyers.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Do you wish you were still friends?
You see, one thing, and then it's an interview that I gave to Hello. I think in general, I like to keep friendship or relationship story, love stories starting, they finish. Everything can change, but I don't accept why relationship you can be transformed when you've been spending and share so many things with somebody. Like I'm very good friends with my ex-husband and so many other people I've been in a relationship. I like to keep it. I don't like to lose everything. But this is I find. For some people, it's difficult to stay friendly. In general, unfortunately, we need to talk only with lawyers, so that has been quite, for me, unreasonable. But
yeah, it's very sad.
It is sad, but it's all the past, and it's people that cannot really move on. And I think in life, everything it's wonderful, all our experience, and we have it because we go through a journey where we're learning, and our life needs to be transformed. But some people are not able to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
Lovely to see you. Thank you very much.
Lots more.